Hi everyone and welcome to another Heroes of the Grid video. Today I'm going to be covering the Arsenal cards in more detail. I pretty much mention them in every team video that I covered so far, but I've never really gone into detail as to what each specific Arsenal card does. I do have a general how to use Arsenal cards, the rules behind them, in my How to Play series, and I'll have a link to that in the description below. But I want to break down the Arsenal cards specifically one by one and go over them. Right now I'm going to start with the armor cards, because if you recall, but Arsenal cards are split into armor, power up, and team power up. And each one has different uses, but you can watch the other video that explains what the difference between all of them is. Right now I want to break them down in detail. And since a lot of the Arsenal cards have to have the battleizers for the various ranger teams, I figure the best place to start is with red battleizer armor, since Andros was the first ranger to have an official battleizer. It's a 3-cost armor card with 3 uses. Its ability says use before you roll dice for an attack. Add 1 die to that attack. This is kind of like a lesser Tyrannosaurus, because Tyrannosaurus adds 2 dice to an attack. This card only adds 1, but you can use this card multiple times in a battle, so that's where the advantage of it comes from. It's basic, but it still helps a lot. Just adding an extra die, you could potentially do an extra 2 damage, whatever you roll. Just remember that it has to be an attack that you use this card for. You can't use it for an effect that just rolls dice that's not for an attack. And I really love the picture on this one. I haven't seen In Space in a while, but it's cool to see the battleizer again, even if it's not in live form. The artwork is super great. But moving on, next is Red Fury mode. It's a 4-cost armor card with 2 uses. Its ability says use before you roll dice for an attack. Add 2 dice to that attack. After that attack resolves, another ranger must suffer damage equal to the number of blank results rolled. This is the Beast Morpher's quote-unquote battleizer for that season. It's the Cheetah Claws, I believe, and the effect reflects its great power, but there was also a cost to pay whenever Devin used it in that season. So I think it actually captures the spirit of the armor pretty well. Whereas you can roll more dice with this attack, with this Arsenal card than you can with the red battleizer armor. As you can see, it comes with the risk. If you roll any blank results, one ranger must suffer damage equal to the total number of those blank results. And keep in mind that it's not just from the blank results rolled from the 2 dice that you're adding, it's the total blank results from the entire attack. So if you're rolling 5 cards to start, and then you add 2 dice with Red Fury mode, if you roll all blanks, one ranger has to suffer 7 damage. But of course, you can alter results with something like Mercurial Force or Sid's Transmutation in order to minimize the damage that the ranger has to take. Because if the results are converted, then they're no longer blank results, which means the rangers don't have to suffer any damage due to this effect. So there's ways to work around it. You just have to be aware of whose ability is available at the time. Next is Quantum Mega Battle Armor. It's a 2-cost armor card with 2 uses. Its ability says use after you roll dice for an attack. You may convert 1 blank result to a hit result, or 1 hit result to a critical hit result. This card just adds an extra damage to whatever you roll. Because you have to use it for an attack, you can't use it for an effect that rolls dice for a non-attack effect. And as you can see from the picture, this is the Quantum Ranger's battleizer, even if it doesn't have battleizer in its name. It's actually a very useful card. I've only used it once, I think. I've only been able to obtain it once in my playthroughs, but being able to not whiff on anything you roll is fantastic. And for only 2 cost, I think it's worth the price. This card's actually especially good if you want to make use of ranger abilities or combat cards that require a certain dice roll result. If somebody needs to roll a critical hit to activate an effect, you can use the Quantum Mega Battle Armor to convert a result, so now that additional effect can activate, or same with if they need to roll a regular hit result, you can convert a blank to that, so that additional effect can activate. It's a very versatile card, and I like it. Next is Hyperforce Battleizer, a 3-cost armor card with 2 uses. Its ability says use at the start of a battle. The rangers may ignore the fast keyword to take the first turn in battle. I think this is one of the best Arsenal cards in the game. Definitely top 3. And I say that because while there are a lot of cards that let you ignore the fast keyword, so that way rangers can take the first turn, as far as I know, Hyperforce Battleizer is one of the only ways that let you bypass the fast keyword, but has no caveats to it. Whereas, let's say Delta Runner 1, it limits the cards you can play to 0 cost cards. The Hyperforce Battleizer you can play whatever you want after you activate its effect, and it doesn't really matter if you get it, if it's like the first arsenal card you get, or if you don't get it till the last round. I mean, unless you're fighting Rancic, who has no fast keywords, you're almost always going to come across an enemy that has the fast keyword. Actually, the Rangers very rarely take the first turn in battle in Heroes of the Grid, because even a lot of foot soldiers have the fast keyword in their decks. The ability to bypass it without having to give up anything is fantastic, and I really like it. One last thing on the picture. I mean, as the name implies, this is the Battleizer for the Hyperforce Pink, it looks like. I actually never finished Hyperforce. Watching it, I started it, but I just never got around to finishing it just because it was so long. I didn't really have the time to sit down and actually listen to it. I'll have to finish it pretty soon at some point. But yeah, it looks pretty cool, and I don't know if the Battleizer was actually on the web series itself or if it was a comic exclusive thing, but either way, I still really like it. Next up is Dragon Shield, a 5-cost armor card with 2 uses. Its ability says, use to resolve one of the following effects. After you resolve an attack, perform an additional attack with 3 dice, or, when you suffer damage, reduce that damage by 2. Then deal 2 damage to an enemy card of your choice. Naturally, the Dragon Shield is a reference to the Mighty Morphin Green, the Dragon Shield that he always wore. Although the picture that they use is from the comics, it's for Matthew Cook. I mean, sticking to the artwork here, I kind of wish they'd shown maybe a picture of Tommy giving it to Zach or something like that, just because we don't really have any pictures with Zach wearing the Dragon Shield on here. I think that's kind of a shame. But, I mean, nitpick aside, the card itself is actually very good. I've used it at least once. No, I drew it once. I was only able to obtain it one time, but I did take advantage of it twice. And for me, what I did, I just used the second ability to reduce damage I was taking by 2 and then deal 2 damage to an enemy card. Because you can choose any enemy card, it doesn't matter if it's being guarded or not. While the top one is very good, you get to perform an additional attack with 3 dice. There's always the possibility that you're going to whiff on it and roll nothing but blanks. So I think the second one is a safer bet, because not only are you saving yourself from taking damage, but you're guaranteeing yourself 2 damage to an enemy card, regardless of what else is on the field. But that's just my 2 cents. I still think you can't really go wrong with using either ability, especially if you have Quantum Mega Battle Armor as well. Even if you roll nothing but blanks with Dragon Shield's first effect, you can convert one of them to a regular hit result. But moving on, next is Dino Knight Mode, a 5-cost armor card with 2 uses. Its ability says, use when you reveal a card for defense. Gain 1 energy for each shield and Chroma Fury icon on that card. This is the Battleizer, quote-unquote, that the Red Ranger obtained after Void Knight gave him his Morpher. And it's a good ability, because any Ranger can make use of it. You can potentially gain up to 3 shield with non-Dino Fury Ranger. But Dino Fury Rangers can potentially get anywhere from 4 to 6 if they reveal a 3 shield card that also has Chroma Fury icons. Dino Fury Rangers can take advantage of Dino Knight Mode a lot more than their other Rangers can, but it's still a good card to use with any Ranger. A very high cost card, though. Next is Dino Charge Battleizer. It's a 4-cost armor card with 3 uses. Its ability says, use when you perform an attack. Another Ranger may reveal an attack card with an energy cost of 1 or 0 from their hand. If they do, your attack gains the effect text of that card. I think this is another contender for best arsenal card in the game. I know I talked about it in, I'm trying to remember which team it was. I think it was, the Forever Rangers team. Made good use of it. Like I said in the last video, though, I'm not entirely sure if you gain the effect text of the revealed card in addition to the effect text of the card you're already playing, or if the effect text that you gain from this Dino Charge Battleizer replaces the effect text of the original card you're playing. And I was playing it as if you retain to the original effect of the card you're playing. So when I used it on the Power X, I retained the effect of the Power X while gaining the effect of Rocky's, I think it was Haymaker, that I used it in combination with. Yeah, so I counted it as keeping the same effect, but just gaining an additional effect. Whereas I can see the argument of somebody saying, no, you're supposed to replace the effect text, but I mean, naturally I would think it would say replace the effect text of the card you're playing with the effect text of the revealed card. But then again, I know in one of the upcoming Mystic Force Rangers says gain the effect text of a card in addition to that card's effect text, something like that. So I can see an argument either way, but I think it's more fun to keep the effect texts because it just makes it a little more powerful, and that's what Arsenal cards are supposed to do, give the Rangers a little boost in power. Finally, the picture is as the name implies, the Battleizer that Tyler wielded in Dino Charge, the second season. It's not technically quote unquote a Battleizer, by name, but pretty much is. And honestly, I was never a huge fan of the design of this one, but I know it was a Sentai design. I think they kind of dropped the ball a little bit on the design of it. But hey, I mean, that's just my own taste. I just wasn't a fan of the look too much. But other than that, I didn't have any problems with it. Next is the Defender Vest. It's a 3-cost armor card with 2 uses. Its ability says, use after you resolve a card. The next time any ranger suffers damage in this battle, reduce that damage by the amount of energy spent to play that card. So if you played a power weapon, which you'd normally cost 3, a lot of rangers, their power weapons cost 3. So you played the power sword for 3 energy. You roll your 5 dice, do the damage from that attack, and then an enemy, a boss, attacks the lead ranger, let's say, he suffers like 5 damage. Now you reduce the damage by 3 because that's how much you pay to play the power sword. You reduce the damage you take by the cost of the card that you played that last ranger turn. And in my example, after you reduce the damage by 3, so that lead ranger is only taking 2 damage now, the next attack that any ranger performs gets an additional 2 dice because the power sword, that's its effect. The next attack performed gets an additional 2 dice. So I really like the Defender Vest. I don't know why. I really like the design of it. I think it's actually a lot better than the Dino Charge Battleizer, but it's just a cool design. The Defender Vest was from Operation Overdrive. I really don't remember Operation Overdrive all that much, but I know a lot of people say it's the worst season, and I don't know. I can't say for sure whether it was or wasn't. I'd have to actually watch it, rewatch it again, and make a judgment call there. But I really like the designs of the suits, and like I said, the Defender Vest is really awesome, I think. And yeah, that's all I can say about the Defender Vest. Finally, the last armor card is the Animarium Armor. It's a 2-cost armor card with 3 uses. Its ability says, use when you reveal a card for defense. Add 1 shield to that card. So a lot like the Red Battleizer Armor, this is pretty much the defense version of the Red Battleizer Armor, whereas the Red Battleizer Armor added 1 die to an attack. This card adds 1 shield to a revealed card that you're using to block an attack. You might not think it's super great. I mean, it's very basic. It's nothing super flashy, but being able to add 1 shield, if you're taking 3 damage and you reveal a 3 shield card, odds are it's your power weapon that you revealed. So you definitely don't want to lose that card. So use the Animarium Armor. Now that card gets sent to the bottom of your deck instead of being discarded because now you're blocking with 4 shields instead of just 3. You can also use it for other various combat card effects and character abilities that have to do with shield values. So let's say something like the Dino Knight mode. If you also had the Dino Knight mode, you could use the Animarium Armor to add a shield to a revealed card. Now it's a 4 shield card, and using Dino Knight mode, you gain 1 energy for each shield icon and Chroma Fury icon on the card. So if you don't have any Chroma Fury icons, if it's a 3 shield, you're gaining 4 energy for that card now because of Dino Knight mode and Animarium Armor. But yeah, I think I'm going to split these videos up into another 2 parts at least. As I mentioned at the start, I was just covering the armor cards in this video. Next, I'll cover the power-up cards, and finally, I will do the team power-up cards as the final one. Now, I will have to make additional videos once the Eternal Rangers Kickstarter items eventually ship over because they are going to have more Arsenal cards in them. I don't recall how many. I believe it's 10 at least, but I'm really looking forward to those. And yeah, in the meantime, while you're waiting for the next Arsenal card video, head on over to onceranger.com and check out the full card database. Affiliate links will be in the description, and let me know if you have any questions about any of the cards that I covered here, because I may not know all the answers, but I'll do my best to find out, and I will talk to you soon.